In this video, we'll use the Minimap theme editor to design custom Minimap styles. Layer effects like outlines, crosshatch, different border styles, and shadows, and you can stack them one on top of the other to create the styles that you want. Let's create a dungeon canvas asset, which is our Minimap theme file. So go to right click, dungeon architect, dungeon canvas material theme. So click that and open it up, and we have this. So this is a layer based system where we stack layers one on top of the other, and that creates our effect. So let's start with the layout. Now this is you might get this pop-up. Just click no. This is showing up in Unreal Engine 5.7 due to Substrate, and it also shows up if I just create a empty material layer as well. Right, so if I do this and open this up, I get the exact same thing. So it's an engine issue which hopefully Epic fixes. So for now, just ignore it and click no. So we have the layout, and this is going to create the layout. So you can add a texture over here. By default, we have the white texture. Then let's add in a outline. No. So you have a nice little outline here. Randomize, so you can see different layouts. Select the layout texture, and maybe we want to change the tint a bit. Alright, now let's add in a background and bring that, drop this down, bring this up. Now the background, we want to have a different color, maybe something like this. Now let's add a few more things. We have a border decoration color, let's add that, and bring the opacity down, maybe change the color. And let's add another one. And this is overlaying on top of the previous one, so let's bring this down a bit, change the color, bring the opacity down. Maybe distort it a bit less, one more, 1.5. So you can play with these things. So I think this is good, or just bring this down a bit more. Select the previous one, bring this down. All right, now we also have for the decoration texture. Let's bring this increase the text scale to 1.5. And let's add another border decoration color. And I'm going to flip the SDF to -1 so that we have this inside. Bring the distort all the way down to 0. You can have something like this if you want. And you can control this. Let's add a bit of distortion and bring the scale down. Reduce this, increase the noise scale to 10 maybe, or 4. And get the tint down, bring down the opacity, just a subtle. So you can play with these and create your own variations. Now these are all material layers. If you open them up, you'll see the material layer, and any parameter that you expose on the material layer will show up over here, so you can modify them. And just go ahead and add a custom one if you want, and then supply your material layer here, and you're good to go. You also have shadow, so drop in a shadow. And you can have something like this. And maybe get the opacity down a bit. And shadow color if you want to. Okay, now if you look at the border, there's some stuff coming on top of it, and we want the outline to be on top. So just grab the outline, bring it all the way up, and you see that this would update. And now select the border decoration texture, the crosshatch that we have, and let's update the color on this. We also have a ramp texture, so I'm gonna create a ramp texture here, and you just specify the texture from the palette. So we have a bunch of these over here. Let's choose this, and you can just play with the parameters. So and you can also have this animated. So this is our first Minimap theme that we created. You can also play with the outline settings, so you can make them, can distort the outline, make it look more like comic style or calligraphy, control the thickness, and again you have the same noise settings like you've seen previously. And you can even amp this up to 10 to give like a crayon effect, and of course change the color of the outline as well. Now if you click on the canvas theme settings, these are the settings for the theme asset itself, and one of the parameters you might want to see is the layout margin percent. So we have this texture space, and how much layout do you want to give around it. So here we see some wasted space. If I keep randomizing, I know that I'll have some space, so let's bring it down to 10. If I set it to 0, it fills up the border, but then we lose out on some of this effects that we have. So let's try 15, let's try 10. So you can play with this depending on how you've designed it. Sometimes you might have a background texture, so I'm gonna select, say let's say I have a texture like this, and I want this to fit inside it, so I might want to go ahead and give a smaller number here, like 30 or 45. And when I randomize this, I get this effect. So let's go to layout and put in the same texture that we have here, and I'm going to put the same texture here, and here let's bring the or instead of that, just cancel, reset this to 0 and play with these. I want to desaturate this so that I still have the same texture as in the paper, so it looks like a drawing, and brighten it up. And you can play with the levels here. And you also have a hue shift, and what this would do is it'll change the color, so you're shifting the color. So if you set it to 0.5 and also the low value to 0.5, then you are effectively shifting the color scale of this. But if you give a range over here, say 0 to 1, then we're going from the lower height to the higher height, and you have different colors based on the heights, so you can play with that. So in this video we explored the Minimap theme editor, and we saw how we could layer on effects one on top of the other and create something beautiful like this. And we can also go ahead and define our own material effects and layer them here.